So I decided that I'd work on probate and tax delinquents. And then I was actually a legal assistant for a well-known law firm here for about 7.5 years. And I got some probate experience there. And once I left there, I ended up accepting a job that is solely probate. And the light bulb went off and it said, well, I no longer have to skip trace leads. I no longer have to pay for list. The leads come to me. So, and that's how I got started.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Kesil, and today I'm joined by someone that I'm looking forward to chat with, Syeta Davis, who is the owner and founder of 7 Levels Real Estate Consulting. So excited to have you here today, Syeta. For those not familiar with you and your work, can you share what your main focus is?
Certainly. So my main focus is helping families and investors. So my business not only helps families through the probate process from beginning to end, but mainly families who have real estate that they have to get rid of through the estate. I guess you can say I'm the connection to solving that problem, always finding what their solution is. And investors who are looking for real-time deals that fit their numbers and building their portfolios.
Awesome. And which markets are you operating in, or are you operating nationwide?
Right now, I'm focusing on Montgomery County, Ohio, but I have touched other parts of Ohio, and definitely the goal is to be branching out nationwide this year.
Awesome. How did you get started in this industry?
Well, so how I got started, I always knew that I wanted to be in real estate. I'm not one, I follow rules, but I'm not one who likes to have to watch what I'm always doing. So that's why I necessarily didn't want to become a real estate agent. Nothing wrong with that. No disrespect to those who took that path because we work well together as well. But I just wanted to have my own real estate business. And I kind of just did research to figure out how can I be in real estate without being an actual realtor or an agent. And I came across wholesaling. Once I started wholesaling, I was like, okay, so I'm really good with talking with people and, just connecting with people on a personal level. So I decided, well, in wholesaling, instead of just talking to someone who wants to sell a home, I want to talk to people who have a story behind their home, people who are facing a hardship. That way I can connect with them on that level, that empathy and that sympathy. So I decided that I'd work on probate and tax delinquents. And then I was actually a legal assistant for a well-known law firm here for about 7.5 years. And I got some probate experience there. And once I left there, I ended up accepting a job that is solely probate. And the light bulb went off and it said, well, I no longer have to skip trace leads. I no longer have to pay for list. The leads come to me. So, and that's how I got started.
Awesome. I love how things unfolded for you. What do you feel are some of the main keys that made the biggest difference in allowing your business to be able to grow and to run smoothly?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
So I definitely will say that one of the main keys is that, again, I don't have to go looking for leads. 90% of my leads come to me, and the other 10% are word of mouth. So they're by referral of families or investors that I've worked with. So I think that's a great strength, and being able to be on both sides of the deal. So I'm not just, working the wholesale deal or, working the probate deal. I'm also on the other side when it comes to the lending. So I know exactly what investors are looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. And what kind of investors do you work with? Are these just like local investors, or who are the kind of people that come to you?
So I work with a lot of local investors, have not worked with, major, huge corporations. And I take pride in that as well. Because myself, being a first time investor, sometimes my bank isn't as big as the big corporation, so I can't buy, the little family home, 2 bedroom, 1 bath. So I like working with investors who, are saying, okay, well, I can afford that, or I can't afford that. So local investors, your everyday people, landlords, your football coaches, just typical everyday investors. Yeah.
Awesome. And what does the process look like for how you work with them and what you support them with?
So everyone I would say who works with me would say that not only am I trustworthy, because a lot of times when you speak with an investor, they want to come out and walk the property, and that's perfectly fine. But I've built such a rapport on integrity and trust with my investors that they know, like I said, I'm going to give them real deals with logical numbers that fit their portfolio. So what they would excuse me, what they would gain is knowing that these numbers are going to work for them, and this is going to be a long-term relationship. So I had to the point, they're like calling me and, like, hey, so what do you got? But I do have, on my website, which is 7levelsre.com, where investors can put their information in, like their buy box, I don't want a property that's built before 1940, or I don't want, a fourplex. I want a duplex. So I do have that information. Like I said, I'm building my buyers list. And they can just expect for me to be hands-on throughout the entire process. Like, even after a deal's completed, I'm following up with them. Hey, how did that go? Did you have any questions, or just anything?
Awesome. And what do you feel are maybe some of the most common obstacles that the investors that you work with kind of are moving through?
Credit. One of the major things that I'm hearing from my investors, or that I'm getting back, is, I don't have they have the liquidity, but they don't have the credit. And, lenders, that's credit is everything. Are you trustworthy? Can we trust that you said you're going to complete the deal in 6 months and be able to pay back the interest, outside of your liquidity? So definitely credit and finding good deals. Like I said, numbers that make sense, that 70% of the ARV, a lot of times they're saying, the numbers are, 80% of the ARV. And at this point, they're just taking deals just to add to their portfolio, but they're not really building their portfolio or, building their business. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is an obstacle that you overcome in your role that now looking back, you can see the lesson?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Obstacle that I overcame, I would definitely have to say, um, being almost everywhere at once. Um, I'm really hands-on and I really want to help everybody any way that I can. So I was kind of to the point like wearing myself thin, like, oh, I can just do this or I can just do that or just write it down. But once I really realized, like, it's okay to pass off deals. It's okay to refer certain investors or certain families to other people that are in this business. It's okay to say, I'm not going to work on the weekends or things like that. It's okay to have structure in your business and stick to that because otherwise, your business will be everywhere. So definitely learn that lesson.
Yeah, that's important. And what are you most focusing on solving or scaling to next?
I'm most focusing on definitely bringing more exclusive off market leads to my current investors and more investors. I know it's going to happen eventually, and it's definitely going to happen this year, that I'll be getting calls from investors that probably never thought about purchasing properties in Ohio. But Ohio is a really good rental market. So I know that eventually I'm going to, hit that level where I've got investors from California, maybe even overseas investors saying, hey, Syeta, we heard about 7 levels and, that you bring real time deals to investors that make sense. And we want to be on your buyers list and, and maybe we can flip a property together.
Yeah, amazing. That's super exciting. Um, what kind of, like, I know that you mentioned you're kind of working with that
Mhm,
clients that are more like distressed. So, what kind
mhm.
of properties are these investors seeking out from you?
So what I mainly see, they're looking for properties that are in highly sought areas. Maybe not like the 6-figure income neighborhoods, because those are mainly going to be homeowners, but looking for properties in good school districts, low crime rates to moderate crime rates, because crime is everywhere, as we understand. But just good, properties for families. Most people have probably a minimum of 2 to 3 kids at minimum. So you need those houses that are that size, 2 to 3 bedrooms plus 1.5 bathrooms, properties with good bones. I know there are some investors that don't have problems with doing full guts, but a lot of if the numbers make sense, full gut is no problem. But being able to go into a property and do minimal rehab or whatever amount of rehab you do definitely doesn't exceed what your ROI is, which is, your return on your investment.
Yeah, absolutely. And what does like your lead generation look like to find the houses and the people?
So my number one lead generation obviously is through probate, since that is my 9 to 5. Um, Along comes with that is word of mouth. All of the families that I've worked with, n- maybe a good 5 times out of 10, I hear from them, hey, you worked with Angela or you worked with Doug, and they sent me down here to talk to you and to say, they said that you could help me. Also, because I work local, here in the county, I'm able to, have better access to like tax delinquent properties and, the mortgage foreclosures. Like I said, I really focus on distressed properties, properties that have a problem, foreclosures, tax liens, because they have a problem and I bring a solution.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yeah, absolutely. And what are maybe some of the most common qualities that the investors are looking for in these houses?
The most common quality I would say that they're looking for is obviously 70% of the ARV minus repairs is there that's what they're looking for. That's what they want to pay. And even if you look at the 70% of the ARV minus repairs, I never take it to the cap, like saying, well, I know, I always leave room for negotiation. And I think that most of my investors will say that, like, even though it could have been an $80,000 cap, she brought it down to 72. So, and I'm also, not cheating the homeowner as well. Also making sure that they understand that, putting it on the market or whatnot may not be the best option, especially if you are trying to beat the clock. So I think the quality is, like I said, just making sure that the numbers absolutely work for them.
Absolutely. And you mentioned that you're also like working on the funding aspect. Can you expand on what that looks like?
Yeah. So, when I ventured out into this, I was so excited because, like I said, now I'm on the other side of the deal. So before I would just say, okay, well, John has told me that he needs 70% of the ARV minus repairs, and that's all I knew. I never knew why it had to be 70%. But now being the broker, I understand because that's what the funding companies, that's the LTV, the ARV, what the as is value. So being able to shop the best funding deals for my investors, like I said, being on the other side of the deal is absolutely crucial to my business. I'm able to help people, like I said, who necessarily don't have the best credit. Because, most of these lenders, they're not looking at business credit, they're looking at your personal credit. So we're able to say, okay, well, where's your credit at? What can we do to improve it? Or what's your liquidity, looking like to obtain the deal? Or what lender will work with you on your credit because you got the experience, you've got the liquidity, the numbers make sense. So, this lender is actually willing to, fund the deal. So I loved, that aspect, like I said, to be able to actually be on maybe the wholesale side and the lending side. So I'm just, trying to make sure I'm all over the board.
Yeah, amazing that you're able to do multiple services for people. Are there any other services that you haven't mentioned that you're also offering?
Yes, there is. So, a lot of times you offer, a wholesale offer to a homeowner. They just don't want to accept that. And I completely understand every deal is not going to go to closing, the route that I initially choose. So I recently had built such great rapport with a homeowner. Well, I'm sorry, she was actually the executor of an estate. And she didn't want to go the route of hiring a realtor. Again, no disrespect to realtors. We love you guys and we work well together. She just didn't want to go that route. So she asked if I could assist her with, I guess, the clerical administrative side of doing it for sale by owner. And a light bulb clicked. And I said, you know what? That makes sense because she lives out of town. She was 2.5 hours away. She didn't have time to coordinate or facilitate showings. She didn't have time to be sending the contracts back and forth. So I sat down and I spoke with an attorney, a real estate attorney, that covers all of Ohio, and just asked, what within my realm, without being a licensed real estate agent or realtor, would I be allowed to assist a for sale by owner with? And we went over that. So, yes, I offer, like I said, administrative clerical services to homeowners who want to list their properties for sale by owner.
Amazing. So many things that you're able to support people with.
Yes.
What are you most looking forward to for this year for your business?
Wow. So this year, I definitely am looking forward to securing two properties. I think that, to put that under my belt, I think that's the most excited thing that I'm looking forward to. And secondly, definitely the funding side, taking that completely to a whole nother level, where I will be servicing all states in the United States of America. So super, super excited about that. And to the point where I'm pretty sure by the end of this year, Seven Levels RE will be a household name.
Amazing. I'm excited for you. Sounds
Thank
like a big
you.
opportunity ahead. So, before we wrap up here, if somebody wants to reach out, connect, learn more, where can people find you and connect with you?
So, as always, if you'd like to text or call, the phone number is 937-660-6611. Our website is sevenlevelsre.com. Also on Facebook, which is, I'll spell it for you, Syeta, Syeta, Labrie, Lybri, Seven Levels RE. And also on Instagram at the number 7 Levels Real Estate.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate your time, your story, and your
Thank you.
perspective. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And for those that are tuning into the show, if you got value, make sure you have subscribed. We've got more conversations with operators like Syeta who are building real businesses, and we will see you on our next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.